John, your longevity in this sport is ridiculous. It's 26 years since your Masters debut, 27 years since you won your first ranking title. And by the way, can you remember what the score was and who the opponent was?
My first ranking final?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Harold in the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And it was 9-6?
Yes.
9-6, 9-6.
But do all these memories begin to blur into one after all these decades and years?
I don't think your first one. I think your first one is always that special. That I think you'll always remember who you played and what the score was. But if you talk about different other tournaments and what happened during them, sometimes they do blur into one. Yep.
If someone had said to you, for instance, at the party after you won in '94, that you'd still be performing at the highest level in the 2020s, would you have believed them then as a young man, that you would have lasted that long?
No, I don't think so. I don't think any sane person would, because I think I was looking at the players at that time, and it was your mid-30s and maybe late 30s, that's where the players were beginning to maybe fall down the rankings a bit. So no, it's been brilliant. Obviously, I'm still been able to compete and still earn a living at this great sport. It's been very lucky, very lucky.
And I guess if we were going to pick out a few individual years, how special was '98, playing your great friend Ken Doherty in the World Championship final? He'd won it the previous year, you denied him the successful defence, your first world crown, and then you go to France and watch Scotland in the World Cup. That's got to be right up there on the Higgins mantelpiece of memories.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was great time in my life. Young man, you've won your first world title, then you're going to watch Scotland playing their last big major football event. I went with three of my mates, and then it just so happens now this coming summer that they're going to be back there. It'd be brilliant if I could go there as a world champion again, but listen, I'm not counting my chickens. That's maybe a little bit too far fetched. But no, listen, I'm still, as I say, lucky enough that I'm still competing with the good players, top players of the game.
In terms of other years, I guess it's appropriate as we are at the Masters. I mean, that final and the last frame against Ronnie in '06 was ridiculous. Do you think that's amongst your best individual clearances in the context of how you came back and where Ronnie was when he broke down?
Yeah, I think it would have to be, because I think the whole context of the match, that was the third time I'd played Ronnie in a Masters final, and I'd lost two finals really heavily to him, and I think at one point I was 4-1 down against him earlier on in the final, and I was thinking, oh, here's another bashing I'm going to take here. But I managed to get myself back in the game, and then when it went 9-all at the end, Ronnie was in, and it looked as if he was going to win the frame with one visit, and then he broke down a little chance later, and then I took the clearance on. And I think we doing it, I think, yeah, it was special because it obviously was the last time we played at the Wembley Conference Centre. And to beat someone like Ronnie, who's obviously he's got the most amount of wins, most amount of finals out of everyone. No, it was that's a special final. I'll always remember that one. Yeah.
And going back to the longevity again, obviously Ronnie's Ronnie, and he's an enigma, and he's done great things for many years. I see a big similarity between you and Mark Williams, your fellow class of '92 professional. I think Joe's been really important for Willow, although he might sort of take the mickey. I reckon he'd run through a brick wall for Joe. And I think Denise is obviously a really strong woman. And how central has she been to your success? Because it's important when you guys go on tour that you miss your wife and your children, but you don't worry about them because you've got somebody who's got it all under control at home. How key has that been?
Yeah, that's been the most important thing of your whole career, really. As you say, behind every, I wouldn't say successful man, but there's always a stronger woman, and that's exactly as for my life. Now Denise she's been a bedrock now since we've started a family, 3 young children, and she's always been there. She's always held the fort when you're away. So yeah, that's as you know yourself, Rob, you're a dad now yourself. That's the most important thing, family, and that's that's what you treasure the most. Obviously, your career comes a second to the family, and yeah, it's been a good career so far. But I don't want it to end. I want it to keep going, and I'm still trying to improve. I'm still trying to look at little things that I can try and improve to my game. I know it is going to end sooner rather than later, but I would like it to be later.
And of course, you know, father time doesn't wait for anyone. You've now provided a lovely life for Denise and the boys. You've won everything. Have you even allowed yourself to start thinking about what you might do when you eventually retire? How will you fill your time? Would you go into coaching? Are you going to be a TV pundit, or have you not even explored that option?
A TV pundit, I don't think they would understand me. So I think I'm too strong a Scottish accent. It was funny because I was at the Championship League there last week, and I was sitting with young Zhao Yulong, and he was asking me the exact same questions. He says, I read somewhere, John, you would maybe get into coaching, and I was thinking, have I said that? Maybe I have said that. Zhao, he said maybe in the future, if you become available, would you be my coach? And I don't know if he was kidding on or that, but it's nice, I suppose, when young guys coming through in the game that are going to be great players, they maybe look at you like it's maybe one of the guys that they would maybe like to ask you questions or use you as a sounding board. Who knows what life is going to now serve up for you later on in your life. But now I still think I'm a capable player, but there will come a time where I might look into something else, and I don't know what that'll be.
Well, coaching wouldn't be a bad option. You have notched up 30 ranking titles, and you've won the Masters and a whole host of other invitationals. Well, John, let's focus on enjoying watching you for the years to come. The retirement will be much further down the line. Always a pleasure to have a chat.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you.